Good day, everyone. ROFFS analyst James here, and it is currently Tuesday, July 26th. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Today, we'll be looking at the ocean conditions from Cape Hatteras down to the Florida Keys and the Bahamas from this past weekend. Starting off down in the Florida Keys, we've been observing several smaller eddy formations being released from the loop current that are being pushed eastwards over 200, 300 fathoms. And what we've been noticing is several small filaments of warmer water reaching further offshore and just getting pushed east by the Gulf Stream. As it moves east, you'll probably see some filaments of warmer 86-degree water out offshore in the relatively cooler 85-degree water of the Gulf Stream. If fishing out of the Keys, be sure to order a forecast the day prior to when you head offshore to find out what the current conditions are down there, just see if any of these filaments are moving through at this time. Rounding the Florida Keys into the main Gulf Stream along the east coast of Florida, we continue to observe relatively stable conditions all the way north to Cape Canaveral and Ponce Inlet before we observe more Gulf Stream eddy filaments being formed off of Daytona and up into Jacksonville. One of these eddy formations that has broken off, moving off of Georgia and into South Carolina, up in this area, has pushed offshore just before reaching the Georgetown Hole area. And this continues a pattern we've been seeing most of the summer, where these eddies move offshore towards the Beaufort Valley off here. These eddies, as they move offshore, continue to keep the western edges of the Gulf Stream away from the ledges between Georgetown and off of Cape Fear before they start to move back closer to the ledge near Cape Lookout, where we see the eddy filaments begin to interact with the good bottom from Cape Lookout and Cape Hatteras and moving offshore near the point to the northeast. For those looking to fish the eastern side of the Gulf Stream off of Florida, we continue to see a counterclockwise rotating eddy north of Walker's right here. This is providing a relatively stable and strong boundary just as you get a little bit east of the corner off of on the northern edges of the Little Bahamas Bank. Looking further east of the Bahamas, we have seen a clockwise rotating eddy north of Abaco. This is pulling a filament of cooler, darker blue water right along the northern coast of Abaco. So nice blue water, pretty close to shore in here. Additionally, a counterclockwise rotating eddy to the east of Abaco and the north of Eleuthera has been observed. So lots of blue water in here, and we'll take a look at that here in a second as we look at the chlorophyll. But it's pushing some water right into the ledges on the east side of Abaco. So switching over to our chlorophyll imagery, you can see this darker blue Bahamas water with that counterclockwise rotating eddy here and clockwise rotation to the north of Abaco. And you can see that darker blue water right along the coastline to the north of Abaco and to the east, or yes, Abaco. Additionally, we can see that other eddy to the north of Walker's. This is pulling some blended blue water offshore to the east of Walker's and to the northwestern portion of Abaco. And again, looking at the chlorophyll, we can see those eddies as they develop near the Georgetown Hole area, continuing northeast and keeping the western edges of the Gulf Stream offshore before we start to interact again with the ledge near Cape Lookout and Cape Hatteras. So be sure to head to roffs.com or call our office at 321-723-5759 to get updated forecasts for when you head offshore. Have a good day, everyone.